your beats suck. Have you ever heard that from artists you go on to work with before?
You surprise me to how shit you are.
Hopefully not. But when you send a beat pack with your 10 best beats and not a single one is used, it kind of makes you feel that way. Now what if I told you you're not making beats that the artist will like? You're making beats that you would like. You're making beats for other producers. This mindset shift, along with 4 other tips, will not only allow you to create better beats, but also make beats that artists will actually want to hop on. So then those royalties can start flooding in. Now, before we start that, have you ever yearned to be a part of something amazing? Be a part of the growth that makes some of the biggest stars of our generation. Be able to say that you were there from the beginning.
In the beginning.
Well, as a music producer, I feel like that's the best thing that can happen to us. Find an artist, work with them, have your production become their sound, and then grow with them, and you both make it big. And I feel like I'm a part of the beginning of that right now. This journey begins almost 1 year ago, when a friend from my school, Danny, asked me to attend a studio session, since they needed a producer. And at the studio session was a group called Bad Kids. After just one studio session, we meshed so well, it's like I've known these people for years, when we were only in a studio session for an hour. They asked me if I would like to start producing for them, and I said yes, and ever since then, we've been making fire music. Fast forward a couple months, and one of the artists, Kuiper, releases a banger, Blood on the Floor. Everything from the songwriting, his voice, and the production was amazing. It made me want to make music just like that. And this is when I formed my biggest rival to this day, the manager of Bad Kids, Rennie Lee. He produced this song, and it made me want to make something even better. So during a road trip to a cottage where the whole point was to get off the gadgets, I locked in and created a banger akin to Blood on the Floor. Fool Me Twice. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. Break down a song that I produced for Kuiper called Fool Me Twice. At the time of recording this, it's his 3rd biggest song. His new song is definitely going to overtake it. It's a banger. And I'm going to show you my struggles I went through exploring a new genre, my philosophy to finding artists to work with, and most importantly, how to make beats that artists will actually hop on. So, let's go. Now, something I learned from this past year is you cannot do everything yourself. This industry requires other people to grow. Even just to make one artist grow, it requires a whole team. If you guys have been following me for the past few years, you probably saw my video called Stop Using Loops. Well, I was wrong. When making this beat, and after seeing Reddy produce, it has made me see that the goal isn't making everything yourself. It's about making the best music possible. And if you have to use a loop, hire a guitar player, or even have another producer reproduce an initial idea you made to make that happen, then that's what it takes. So in this beat, I did have some help. The main loop in the song, the guitar, wasn't played by me. It was a loop from Splice. And that is my second tip, using higher quality sounds to make higher quality music. And not being afraid to use loops or other people to get that quality. This is the loop. Now, if anyone's heard the song before, you know that's a lot lower and a lot slower than it. So we just took that, pitched it up 500 cents, and then we brought the BPM to 141. And it just makes the whole song amazing. Like, if I didn't have this amazing guitar, I would not have made this. Because at the time of making this, which was in May or something, I was trying to make a lot more pop beats. And I was trying to make a lot of them from scratch. And they just weren't turning out as well. They sounded pretty ass. When I found this guitar loop, I knew I had to make something amazing. So then I created this basic drum beat. So for drums in pop beats, it doesn't have to be that hard. Snares on the 2s and 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kicks on the 1s. And then you could do a cool pattern at the end or in the middle, wherever you want. But I did it at the end, so it's pretty simple for and it just gives that bounce. Having them on the offbeats instead of the 3s, like if we had that, that's also cool. But I don't know, this gives it more balance. Hi-hats, 2-step. adding a little pauses and double hi. I like putting my drums in the playlist now just so I can add different stuff like that. And so in the second version, it doesn't have to be the exact same as the first version without making it unique. I don't know. I like this better. Open hats, adding them on the kicks. And now on this kick. And it's super simple. All these drums are from this organic drum kit. This is a Reddit pack. This guy just recorded a bunch of drum sounds and uploaded them. Bless that guy. All of these are usually, I like cutting out the out knob of most drums to make them a lot snappier. The kick, if you do this, right? It's a lot snappier. Boost knob, boosting it just to make it hit harder. Making it more poppy, right? And yeah, these drums are super simple, and that's really what makes a lot of artists want to hop on your beats. Simplicity. So that's my third tip, just simplicity. You don't have to do too much. You have to just have high quality sounds that are simple. If you're just adding a bunch of layers, it'll make the whole mix muddy, and it'll be hard for someone to sing top line on and actually make a good song. So stick with simplicity. So after that, I had to add the bass, right? So we had this bass right here. Right? The challenge I had was finding these synths, but then I found this sick plugin, BA1. This plugin is so sick. It has some very nice 80s sounds, but just nice sounds in general. They're so just clean and very nice. So this plugin, super sick. Baby Auto, shout out to them. I have an affiliate link to download this plugin if you want. All sponsorships or affiliates that I have in my channel, I use these plugins and I use these things that I'm going to promote because I don't want to promote to you guys something I don't use. So Baby Audio, this plugin is something that I use a lot in this beat and just in other beats. And yeah, I use this first part, W McDubface. I think it's in Plux and ARPs. I added a lot of stuff to it, so that sounds a lot different. A nice synth for it, made it a little more high end. And then added some delay to it. With the bass. Second half of the verse, we have more instruments and synths come in. So we have this cheap keys with edits. These cheap keys are also from BA1. Cheap keys. It sounds pretty similar, but the reason this sounds so much different is because we have a lot of effects on it. We took out some of the low end and some of the high end. Added sketch cassette. This plugin is amazing. Makes it just a lot more kind of in outer space phone call. That's basically what it is. Added some chorus to make it wobblier. And it adds some plugins like Portal, Shaperbox, Effectrix 2, Looperator. All those plugins are able to affect plugins in an interesting way. So it's really about the simplicity, like I was saying before, having just the chords, but with these. And this one's the HYFRYD Jace Lewis. I don't know who that is, but he made a sick preset. Pretty simple pattern, just going up the scale. Oh, we also have this kind of higher bass. So we have this serum pluck that makes it sound like the bass is filtered. A higher essential bass guitar, which is another bass that I use. Stock FL Studio bass. And it's just rising. And then that's where the chorus comes in. Now this arrangement is pretty interesting, right? Basically what I did is I dragged the MP3 of Blood on the Floor here, copied the arrangement exactly, and listened to a lot of his music to get the vibe. So that's another thing. My fourth tip on just making better music. It's using reference tracks and actually studying the artist's music that you want to make something like. If I didn't copy the formula of the bass and then just the bass and the drums, it wouldn't sound like a Kuiper track, and I don't know if he would have gotten on it. So yeah, just listening to what the artist actually uses. So a lot of the synths, the ear candy to make it that anti-pop, hyper-pop kind of vibe. Yeah, and guitars, obviously, because Kuiper uses a lot of guitars. So yeah, if I didn't use his reference track, this track would not have been good. So using reference tracks and following them, but not following them exactly, obviously, adding your own style and flair to it. And then also using reference tracks and studying the artist, there's certain keys, BPMs, and vibes they go for. So make sure to keep track of those. If you listen to a lot of the songs, you'll find a commonality between all the keys that they use and the BPMs. And if you're not sure, even by listening to it, I have this sick plugin called Key Finder. So just drag in all their songs, find a commonalities, find some keys that you like, or of this song that you're making, make it in the same key and BPM, and then it'll be easier to create a similar vibe to their song. The arrangement, some nice risers. This is where that whoop whoop whoop, that's cool. So that adds a little extra stuff. Crashes, obviously. During the chorus, we have some claps. But you guys are probably hearing this if you've heard the actual song and you're like, damn, that bass is so weak. And it actually is. And this is where probably the biggest problem in this whole track came. The bass sucked, right? The bass just sucked. Now, I had a few different options for this when doing this. I recently saw this key bass from I think it was a El Dre video where he was using this, but this didn't fit at all. It was too muddy and dark. So what did I do? I tried a bunch of different basses, basically, right? So first is Oliver bass. This one was pretty good. But then there was also this Tempted bass I tried. This is also pretty good, gives it kind of that more realistic feel. And then I tried this bass again, tried adding some stuff to it. It was pretty nice, but none of them were exactly what I wanted. I also tried sending it to my friend to add some real bass. It just wasn't hitting, right? And as you can see in this folder, we have so many different versions. We have pending V1, pending V1, pending with no bass, pending with bass, pending with a sub bass, pending with bass 3, pending new bass, pending V3, V4, V5, and then V3 again. So we went through a bunch of different versions, right? And what I ended up doing, which I can't believe I did this, because he's like, I really like the first bass and I really like this bass, but there's just something not right about them by themselves. So I combined them, but we combined both the basses. So we actually have a bunch of basses kind of going, right? We have that high bass. And that gives it that a lot of fullness and the hit, the punch of the bass. And then we also had to add some more warmth and variation to the second part of the chorus. So we added this kind of synth. Right? You can't really... It's kind of hard. But you can't really tell it that much in there. It also has some effects, so this is what it sounded like before. Some EQ, cut out the lows. Portal to give it... Right, I'm telling you, this Portal plugin is amazing. On the Metals preset from... I don't know what bank it's from, but adding halftime to make it just... And that just adds a lot of warmth to the track in general. And the reason I added that is because he wanted just the second part to have more variation. So that just fills it out. Now, if I didn't listen to Kuiper and I just sent him this beat like it was, the song wouldn't have been as big. He probably wouldn't have used it, and it just wouldn't be a thing right now, right? And that comes to my final tip. Spend time on the music and listen to feedback, right? As you saw by all those genres we had, or all these exports, we had a bunch of different versions, and we had multiple versions of pending. There was a lot of back and forth making the perfect product, changing the bass tones, right, on this whole track. So yeah, that's what I would say is the most important thing when you're working with an artist or for an artist, is actually listening to their feedback. So after all that feedback, after all the trial and error, I finally finished the song, exported it to him, and we had a banger. It took a while, but you gotta put in the work. Hope you guys enjoy this beat. Go listen to Fooled Me Twice right now. It's a fire song. If you like my production, if you want to check out some of Bad Kid stuff, down below. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. New videos hopefully will be coming more frequently. Thank you for watching. I'm bald now. Yeah. Let me know what type of hairstyle I should get. I have no idea. Peace, guys. Have a good one. Don't wanna make up ever again.